Shri Krishna, Shri Krishna, Shri Krishna, Shri Krishna. Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwara, Guru Sakshat Param Brahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. हृदयकुहरमध्ये केवलब्रह्ममात्रम् अहमहमिति साक्षादात्मरूपेण भाति हृदि विषमनसा स्वं चिन्वतामज्जताम पवनचलनरोधात् आत्मनिष्ठो भवत्वम्. हरि ओम तत्सत्. Upadesha Saaram, Sloka number 23rd and 24th. Sattvabhasika chitvavetara सत्तया हि चेत् चित्तया ह्यहम् ईशजीवयोर्वेषदीभिदा तत्स्वभावतो वस्तु केवलम्. The cause for the all human miseries is only one cause, that is not knowing our real essential nature. We have a wrong notions about ourselves, and the wrong notion should be removed by the gnanam, the knowledge about ourselves. Upadesha, by which instructions, by which teaching, by which words, by hearing, our mind becomes more introverted and abides and sits in the self, that is called Upadesham. Upa means nearby, Desha means the place. The nearest place to our mind to sit is our own self. But the mind's nature is all the time going place to place, run behind the space. Of course, time and object also. So this running of the mind behind the time, space and object is the cause. So if that mind is turned inward and abides in the self, what is its source, where from the mind starts functioning, then it dissolves into the self-consciousness. Then only all the problems and the crisis, the misery of this mind, misery is only to the mind, misery is not to the body, and misery is not to the intellect or the senses, not to the senses. Of course, intellect is the part of the mind. So, all the suffering and sorrow is in the mind. It is not in the world. It is not in the body. Now, Bhagavan Ramana Maharshi, in these two shlokas, which we have completed in the last class, Mahavakya Upadesham is given in the 24th shloka. For that Mahavakya Upadesham, the preparation started from the 20th shloka itself. There is only one consciousness, which is the existence and the conscious principle, that is Sat also, that is Chit also. That's why Sattva Bhasiga Chitva Itara, there is anything which is separate than the Sat to illuminate that there is any Chit Itara, Sattaya hi Chit, Tadeva Chit, Chideva Sat. And that Sat Chit is nothing. You should not see somewhere. I am only. Aham. Chittaya hi aham. Indeed, the Chit and Sat, the conscious existence, I am only, not something else. So no need to search anywhere, no need to go anywhere to find out. I am only that. Now, after saying that in the 24th shloka, now what we have to do? Here we are seeing the two entities. That is one, the individual I am means my body, I, and the world. So one is Samashti and another is Veshti. This Veshti is called Jiva and the Samashti is called Ishvara. Is these two are different? No. Isha Jiva Yoho, only between them, only the Vesham is different, Upadhi is different. Veshadhi Avida, Veshadhi Vida. Only the Upadhis are different. This is a small Upadhi, that is a big Upadhi. For that, generally we analyze the example of the Upadhi of the waves. Upadhi, the waves are Jiva like, and the ocean is the Ishvara like. But in fact, Sattva Bhavataha, Satsvabhavataha, if you see the essence of the waves, by keeping the Nama and Rupa aside, it is essentially a water. In the same way, which you call as the Samashti, the big quantity of the water is the ocean, you remove the ocean name and the form, and essentially that is also water. So water is the common phenomena, principle, but only the Nama Rupa of the waves and the ocean are superimposed. That is what Ramana says here. Isha Jiva Yoho. You are taking this as the small and the individual, and that you take as the samashti total, waves and the ocean. But in fact, the waves are also not real. The ocean is also not real. But the reality is only the water. Sat, Swabhavataha, essential nature of these Isha and Jiva are nothing but the Sadeva. Sat Vastu Eva Kevalam Swabhavataha. Essentially, this is also a such consciousness, that is also a consciousness. But the consciousness expressing through a different medium, then the Upadhi, the medium means Upadhi, the name we created, we imagining the name on it. And the water, by seeing the form, we have given a name and wave and thinking it is a separate entity. The same way this Jiva also is not a separate entity. So this 24th shloka is a very clear cut Mahavakya Upadesha Tattvamasi. Tattvamasi. Take another example. If one person is a president of the country, actually he is the citizen also. But first, by being a citizen, when the citizens are all collectively putting the vote in favor of that one particular citizen, so the same person simultaneously with a single vote he is a citizen. With the collective votes of the country people is a president. In the same way here, individual this simple small body mind complex here, when the consciousness is reflecting in this, it is called jiva, a single citizen like. When all the single citizens are together collectively electing one person is called Ishvara. But any citizen can become by collective support of the other citizens as the president. Collective. That is individual single. So like that, water waves are a single wave when it is separated by the because of the wind and the movement of the water, and we give the name and form. But all total collective waves together is called ocean. But there also again there is no ocean name or there is no waves name form, but altogether the vastu kevalam is water, so consciousness. So Mahavakya Upadesha given. Now today we'll see the 25th 26th slokas. How then we have to separate and find out this individual jiva is nothing but the atma only, and that paramatma is also atma only. You just replace these upadhis of the jiva word and upadhi, parama word and the upadhi, then what remains is the only atma. Veshahanata swatmadarshanam ईशदर्शनम् स्वात्मरूपतः आत्मसंस्थितिः स्वात्मदर्शने आत्मनिर्द्वया आत्मनिष्ठता. Vesham. Vesham means dress, costume. An actor go to the green room, he is simply actor, a man, but now he puts the vesham of a beggar, or in some other scene after some time he himself come with the vesham of the king. So once if the king dress and the beggar dress, if they both are removed, removed means negated. That means what? Dropping the body mind identification is called Vesha Hanata. Hanata. Negating, disidentifying, not giving importance to this body mind Vesham. This is a dress. So this external dress is not important. Essentially, the inner body is important. Inner body means upper garments are not important. The garments are, I just wore it on me. In the same way, I, the Atma, Satchit consciousness, I temporarily put the dress. So, like that, dropping the body mind identification is called Veshahanatah. Dropping means what? When we give this example of dress wearing and removing the dress and putting again, we cannot do like that practically, literally need not to do. While body is alive with me and working with me, I am functioning, expressing through same time itself while working with the body, through the body, I must claim that I am not the body. I am not the mind. Deho naham. But still I am telling this through this body only. By being in the body, with this mouth, with these instruments, I am telling that I am not the body. To tell that is not only words, just telling with a conviction and perfect understanding. Donaram. So Veshahanataha, then what happens? Swatma Darshanam. Once if I recognize myself as a Satchit Ananda conscious existence bliss principle, I am that. Then I have realized myself. Swatma, Swaatma. I recognized myself. I recognize myself. I have the vision of myself, Darshanam. This Darshanam word we have to be very carefully understand. I will tell you after completing these word meaning, because the same Swatma Darshanam word will come again in the next 26th Sloka also. What it means actually. Now this Swatma Darshanam is itself is the Isha Darshanam. Once if I recognize myself as the Atma consciousness, once if the waves are disidentify and drop their name and form, they are total one with the ocean only. One with the ocean. And so, Swatma Darshanam, you recognizing yourself as the Atma consciousness, then that itself is the Isha Darshanam. So, Isha Darshanam is not separate than the Swatma Darshanam. So, Sat, Sat, Swatma Darshanam and Isha Darshanam both are, in what way we have to identify both are one? Swatma Rupataha. So that means the Swatma word is important, that came two times. Swa-atma, whatever is there, that is only Paramatma. There is no Swa-atma and Para-atma. There is no Jiva-atma and Paramatma. Jiva, Para, Swa, Isha, all that when you remove, only Atma remains. So, Swatma Rupataha, I myself, the Atma, that means here actually Isha Darshanam means I myself has to be recognized as the Ishvara. Not from the Upadhi standpoint. Upadhi standpoint, I cannot compare with the Ishvara's Upadhi. But why we have to give the importance to Upadhis? We remove, drop the Vesham. If you compare with the beggar, the Vesham and the king's Vesham and the dialogues of the king and the dialogues of the beggar, both are different. But who put these two characters, two Veshams? Swatma Rupadaha, I am only. So I myself is the Ishvara, I myself is the Jiva. That means I myself is the Samashti, I myself is the Veshti. So Veshti Samashti, Stula Sukshma Karana Sharirams and Sthula Sukshma Karana Prapanchams all are just projected appearing from me, from me. So Veshahanataha. So Jivatma Swarupa Jnanam, Paramatma Swarupa Darshanam. Both are one and the same. That means Lakshardha Drishtena, I am Atma. Same way, Jeev, Paramatma also Lakshardha Drishtya Atma. So Vachyardham and Upadhis, when they are dropped, then it is one and the same. The oneness has established. So Paramatma is not an object of knowledge outside. Atma is also is not a object, knowledge of object outside. We have the knowledge of the many objects. Being I am the subject. But when it comes to me, myself, now myself, me and the Paramatma, Ishvara both are one and the same, that we have finalized. Now, I need to try anything to know myself again as like the I know the objects. I can objectify my body and I am the knower of the body. I can objectify my mind and I am the knower of my mind. I am the knower of my thoughts. So, but when it comes to the I myself need not to know because I am self-evident. I am self-evident. Suppose. So therefore, if anybody says, I had a Atma Sakshatkara, Atma Darshanam, but I have not yet have the Paramatma Darshanam. If anybody says that is wrong, his understanding is wrong. He didn't understand the Vedanta properly. Therefore, Darshanam word we have to analyze while seeing the 26th shloka meaning. So now in the 25th it is clear. When we remove these upadhis and the vachyardhas of the Ishvara and the Jiva, then whatever remaining is only one thing, that is Vastu Kevalam Atma. So this Atma Samsthitihi, the abidance in the self, is the vision of the self. Atma Samsthitihi, the vision of the self. Swatma Darshanam. Atma Samsthitihi is itself is the abiding, recognizing I am that. I am that. Aham Brahmasmi. That itself is Swatma Darshanam. And being Atma is one without second, Atma Nidvayat. This is known as the Atma is non-dual. Ekameva Dvitiyam. There is no second anything other than this one Atma. So this firm abidance of myself recognition itself is Atmanishtata. So this dissolving all my mind, all my thoughts, all the Dvaita Bhavas are the differences on account of ignorance. So dissolving all this into the self is the the resolving of all the human mental problems, because they are only imagined. They are all imagined because of these upadis and limitations. But nothing is true. Nothing is not real. Okay. So word-wise, if you see, the meaning is simple. Atma samstitihi eva swatma darshanam, and that is called Atmanishtha. Being Atma is the one. Truth always can be only one. The fact can be always only one. The answer, correct answer always will be one for the calculation sum. But wrong answers will be many, maybe many. But right answer only one. So fact is only one, but imagined wrong notions and the wrong thinkings are many. That is all because of the projection of the mind, because of the ignorance. So mind may project 101 things, mind may say so many things, mind may imagine so many things, but they were all not real at all. Actually, the mind getting the support, the energy, Shakti from the consciousness. If the consciousness is not backed by, then the mind cannot function actually. So, abiding in our own self, Atmanishtata means going, withdrawing, rewinding, reversing our journey from the extrovertedness to introvertedness. How? From the objects, withdraw the senses and withdraw the mind from the senses. Withdraw the intellect from the mind and withdraw the Atma, Chaitanyam, Chetana, and the Chetana is one expression of the consciousness in every being. So, like this, you have to trace back and go from the gross to the subtle, known to the unknown. Unknown means not really unknown, seems to be unknown. That means Sukshma. We are unnecessarily telling that I don't know who am I. That unknown is not unknown at all. It is known to everybody as the self-evident, self-evident, self-illumined. I am, I exist. What proof we need? What proof we need? Who has to prove? In fact, I exist because I know, I prove the objects are existing, mind is existing, body is existing, and everybody existing. So my existence is Nitya Satya Eka Saram. And because of I exist and I am, all other things exist around me. But they are all mithya. They are all nothing but the my expression only. They are all nothing but the my projections only. But I am Nityam Ekam Saram Satyam. But they are all projected and imagined. Those objective world, everything is Anitya Asara Asatya Aneka. So now the point is here, in what is the difference for this Gnanam and sleep? In sleep, we don't know that we are, what is our real nature. Even though all the mental modifications and the objective world is disappearing, but there we don't know. But in the gnana means in the waking, of waking to this knowledge, there is this recognition is only possible in the waking state. The awakening to our own essential nature is possible only in the waking state. So we don't want, that's why samadhi or sleep, they cannot give the gnanam. How much amount of suppression of the mind and mind is going to the uh, dissolution and samadhi or whatever. The problem is not there. When mind automatically dissolves naturally into the sleep, there is no world, there is no problem, there is no misery, sorrow. So even for a person who enter into the samadhi, also same. But the problem comes either to the yogi or to the bhogi only in the waking state. All our ignorance become more and more stronger, strengthened in the waking state. In dream also no problem to anybody. Nobody is facing a problem of soul misery because as a wakers we discard the dream and disown the dream experiences and saying that they are all not there. They are not real. But waking experience we strongly take it as a real. That is the problem. So now where the knowledge is required? Very much in the waking state, very much in the waking condition. With these ears, we have to do the Shravanam and listen from the teacher, the scriptural teachings, and then only you have to claim in the waking state also. This waking state also is a second dream. So, able to claim and reject this waking state also is a dream. We need the gnanam. Which knowledge, which understanding can make you use the strength to negate this waking world as the dream? That knowledge is the Upadesha. That is what we are getting here. So, here, Atma Swatma Darshanam, this Darshanam word may lead to the confusion and the wrong conclusion. What it is? Oh, Darshana means as I have the darshan of this pot, as I have the darshan of this clay, so like that, I realize and I have a darshan, vision of the Atma one day after listening all this. That means to know the Atma, there should be some other. Then knowing the Atma, if I have the darshan of the Atma, so I am different and Atma is different, then Dvaitam will come. Okay? So then how it is possible and what is the meaning of this darshanam? This darshanam means not literally you are going to have the experience of like any other object. No. Okay? Because the subject cannot never be objectified itself. You cannot objectify the subject. Subject is always subject. So if the subject itself is the object of knowledge, then how it is possible? Here the subject object difference disappears when it comes to myself. So to know myself, I don't know any other self. To know the Atma, I don't require any another Atma. So here, let us see 3 points. First of all, Atma Sakshatkaram in the Darshanam word is not a special Anubhava or experience. First point. Never expect and think about you should have a special, extraordinary, perceptional experience, extraordinary sensory experience. No, no need. And therefore, you need not search for the Atma Anubhava somewhere. This you have to inquire. Because Atma Nirtvaya, when Atma is one without second, so the knowing Atma, known Atma, the subject Atma and the object Atma, two Atmas will be there. Then it contradicts the whole Vedanta because of the subject object difference is not there when it comes to myself. I am, I myself am. There is no searching, there is no waiting, there is no questioning, there is no nothing doing. Nothing to do, nowhere to go. Because it is very much available as I am. Let us see logically. Anatma cannot know the Atma. To get all this knowing process is not really knowing. It's only a being and recognizing. Knowing, being, recognizing I myself as I am. So Anatma cannot know the Atma. Or Anat Atma also cannot know the Atma because there is no second Atma. Atma need not to know the Atma. Anatma cannot know the Atma. Or the part of the Atma is knowing the other part of the Atma. Nir avayavaha. There is no parts in Atma. If it comes about my body, if we talk about the body has got parts. Avayava sahita. So this right hand can touch the left hand, can press the left hand. So this part is touching and knowing. Yes, this part is here, paining, it is hot. Is it like that Atma, part of the Atma can or will know the part of the Atma? No parts at all. How you can talk about this when there is no avayavas at all? Nir avayava. So never think, thought or try for I want to know the Atma. Because if you want to know the Atma, then all these problems will come. Atma cannot be known by Anatma. Atma need not to know the Atma. Atma also cannot know the Atma because Atma Nitvaya. And Atma being, it doesn't have any parts within. So part of the Atma cannot know the part of the Atma. Then simply keep quiet. Be Shiva. Be quiet. Simply keep quiet. That's why the silence are there. Chumma iru. Just be. Just be. So in this way, very beautifully, the Mahavakya Upadesha description conclusion came here. And after that, 27th and 28th shlokas. Jnanavarjita ajnanaheenachit ज्ञानमस्ति किं ज्ञातुमन्तरम् किं स्वरूपमे स्वात्मदर्शने अव्यया भवा पूर्णचित्सुखम् ज्ञानवर्जित अज्ञानहीनचित्. So in fact this jnanam, ajnanam, all these words are meaningless and null and void when you come to the real consciousness. Even though the consciousness is called as Satyam, Jnanam, Anantam Brahma, but here see, if you are talking any word, that a word is always have a contradictory, complementary word. Sat, Asat, Chit, Achit, Jnanam, Ajnanam. The question is, one without second, there is only one thing is there. How you can talk about it? This is the difficulty for Shastra, Vedamata also. Shastra Mata. There is only one thing. The one thing. Then we have to talk about it. Who will talk? If you are talking means, that's why if you say Jnanam also, it is wrong. If you say Ajnanam also, it is wrong. If you say it is Sat, problem. If you say Chit, problem. Problem means, because why you use the word Chit? That means before there is another Achit also. That's why even the Upanishadic words Sadeva Saumya Idamagra Asid Asadeva Saumya Idamagra Asid. So there are different way of statements in Upanishads. One Upanishad says that Sateva in the beginning. What is the beginning? In Chandogya we are discussing now that. So there should be very clear, very carefully should be analyzed. That for analysis only we need the Brahma Sutras. The analytical part, Nyaya Shastra, Brahma Sutra. So Shruti, Smriti, Nyaya. There it is discussed and said again, negated, Jnanavarjita. It is like if it is understood, who understood? If it is there, there is no need of understanding. If there is a understanding, trying, the reality is somewhere. So, as a Atma conscious principle, I am not missing anything in this world, and I need not to know it later in particular muhurta, or no need of any time, space, object change not required. Right now, here, Atraiva Brahma Samashnute. Upanishad says, here itself, now and here, I am Brahman. Everything dissolves. There is no further question. If question comes, means the question is always about non-self. About my existence, myself, there is no any question about it. But all that, again, the mind arise and put all the question. So better stop questioning why and how, because there is no meaning for it. One without second. So when it comes here, then what is this gnanam? We are talking about the gnanam. See, any gnanam, consciousness plus this thought, spot thought, vritti vyapti and consciousness together, the pot gnanam. Clip thought plus consciousness is called clip gnanam. Like this, we have to generate aham brahmasmi, brahmakara vritti. It is a vritti only in the mind. So that vritti gnanam, brahmakara vritti, that gives the brahma gnanam. So vritti gnanam is required, vritti vyapti is required, the phala vyapti is not required. So any vastu gnanam is, we need the consciousness and the thought of that particular object. So then the vastu gnanam is coming. Same way, about myself also, the vastu, self vastu gnanam is required, the vritti gnanam of the aham brahmasu. By constant listening from the teacher, the scriptural statements, we need to create that. We are not creating this Atma, we are not creating the consciousness, but the vritti gnanam of the. But automatically then the vritti gnanam, Braham, Brahmasmi, that all also will drop and remains only the Shuddha gnanam. Shuddha gnanam. Therefore, here gnana varjita, ajnana vritti heenachit, ajnana heenachit means ajnana vritti heenachit, the consciousness which is devoid of the thought of ignorance. Then gnana vritti varjita, it is also a divide of the thought of the knowledge also. That means gnanam, ajnanam, they all again relate comes under the relativity. Now here Ramana Bhagavan asking the question, Gnanam asti kim antaram? There is any knowledge other than this self? The same kind of question. But there it is asked about the Sat Itara. सत्तया हि चित् इतर, there is no. Same way here he is asking a question. It is a objection. It is not there. It's not the objection, not actual question. Like, is there any knowledge other than this self, the consciousness? So, gnanamasti kim antaram gnatum. That means again the knower and known. To know the self, there is there any knowledge about other than the self? Okay, a little subtle, complicated. If I say I know the Atma, it is wrong. Okay, who is saying that I know is itself is Atma. The knower is Atma, the known is not Atma. Because the knower is need not to be known. Then how to know this knower? How to know this knower? This question itself is wrong. We have to drop this question. Dropping this question of I want to know this knower. Because finally, all other things we have eliminated. Finally, find out who is the doubter. Doubt the doubter. Know the knower. How then the question comes up. How can I know this knower? You will know this knower only by dropping this question of how can I know this knower? Drop it. Means you need not to know this knower. Why you want to again make this knower as the object of the knowledge? Then keep quiet. Viprahu. So there should be some end even to the inquiry, the culmination of the inquiry, where all our doubts, all our questions, all the problems are just dissolved. I cannot say solved, dissolved. So, in this way, so this sloka is the Jnanavarjita Ajnanahina Chitta. There is no Jnanam, there is no Ajnanam. Because Jnanam, Ajnanam, Dharmam, Adharmam, Punyam, Papam, they all comes under the paths of duality, opposites, complementaries. If that is the case, there is any knowledge is there to know this knower is required? No, not required. So that is the answer himself. Gnanam asti kim gnatum antaram? Nothing. So, here in Kenopanishad, this kind of statement will come. What? Avijnatam vijanatam. Vijnatam avijanatam. Okay? Avijnatam. Who says, who don't know, he knows. Who knows, he don't know. Here knowing is called, that itself is the consciousness. So, pratibodha viditam matam. Everything which you are knowing, all that is happening every moment because of you, I. So I know that I know, but I don't know that I don't know. I don't know that I don't know. The first one is correct. I know that I know. But the second category is better. I don't know, I don't know. The third one is I don't know that I don't know. Very difficult for him to understand. So here, Kenopanishad conclusion is I know that I know. So then I need not to say that I know. That's why the negative statement in that Upanishad, avijnatam vijanatam. Okay? Who doesn't know, he knows. Who vijanatam avijanatam. Who knows, he doesn't know. That means what? He doesn't know that as you know and like the object. I know I am the subject and object. I know in that way. Not as you know that as like object and subject is separate. Anyhow, that is deeply analyzed in the Upanishad class. Now in this way, Jnanavarjita Ajnanahena Chit, so Jnanamastikim Jnatumantra. That's why in pure knowledge of this Satchit Jnanam Anantam Brahma, there is no other word. There is nothing to talk. There is nothing to gain and nothing to lose. When we then, Ramana says in 28th sloka, Kim Swarupam iti Atmadarshane Avyaya Avyaya Abhava Avyaya Bhava Apurna Chit Sukham. Now it is almost concluding. Kim Swarupam iti. What is this my nature? Thus enquiring. Atmadarshane, on self-realization, what enquiry I did now? Avyaya Abhava, unmodified, undecaying, unborn, and all complete. Avyaya Abhava Atmadarshane, what is its Swarupa? When I inquired, Apurnachit Sukham, I come to realize, recognize Apurna Chit, absolute, pure, complete, all complete consciousness bliss I am. That means Shivoham, Brahmasmi, Satyam Gnanam Anantam Brahma, Satyam Gnanam Anantam Brahma. Very nicely, Bhagavan Ramana Maharshi concluding. Of course, two more slokas are there. It's like a Phalashruti that we'll see in the next class. So in this sloka, so when I inquired like this, Kim Swarupamiti, this Atma Darshane, when I realized my real essential nature, which is Avyaya Abhava, which never become, which never decay, which never born, unborn, undecaying, nirvikalpa nirakara, niravaya, nirvisesha, niranjana, nitya nirantara, eka nitya sarasa vastu, conscious bliss, ananda swarupam I am, I come to recognize. That's why Swami Tapovan Maharaj, Chinmayananda's guru, he also came to visit once Ramana Maharshi. Before his leaving, he just, in his autobiography story, mentioned the Shanti itself is the Atma Sakshatkaram. Shanti itself is the Brahmanubhuti. Shanti itself is the Jiva Mukti. Shanti itself is the Atma. Just written like that. And Bhagavad Gita second chapter conclusion also, if you see, this Apurna Chitta, that similar word comes. Apuryamānamacala pratishtam samudramāpa pravishanti yadvat tadvat kāmayam pravishanti sarve sashanti mapnoti nakamakami apuryamāna. Bhagavan there explains by giving a simile of the, like all the waters from different sides comes and merges into the ocean. The ocean is always full. The water is nothing, whatever comes joins is its own essential nature. Then is that ocean feels any difference because of joining some more water. Like that, when all the desires are dissolved, come to an halt. Tadvat kamayam pravishanti sarve sashantim apnoti. Sashantim apnoti. Here it is mentioned as a sukham. The concluding two Falashruti shlokas are the qualities required, the sadhana chatushtaya person. That two slokas we'll see in the coming last final class of Upadesha Saaram. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavasishyate Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Hari Om Hari Om. That's